Welcome. We're here today to conduct a strategic analysis of DJI. This is a commercial entity whose market and technological dominance has become so profound, it is actively, and I mean actively, rewriting the rules of modern geopolitics. Our goal is to dissect the very anatomy of that power.
Now, the foundational fact for this entire analysis is DJI's market position, and let's be crystal clear, we are not discussing a simple market leader. We are analyzing what is, for all intents and purposes, a monopoly. With over 70% of the global civilian drone market, DJI has created a commercial reality where its competitors, well, they're barely a rounding error. This dominance is the absolute bedrock of their strategic power. And this brings us to the central paradox of the whole situation. Despite being placed on the US Entity List, that's a government blacklist restricting trade over national security concerns, and despite all the escalating geopolitical friction, is staggering 88% of America's first responders, we're talking police, fire, rescue services, they all rely on DJI hardware. Now, this isn't just a simple procurement choice, it's a powerful statement of operational necessity that directly defies political mandates.
So our briefing today is structured in 5 distinct movements. First, we'll dissect their engineering monopoly. Then we'll analyze their technological counteroffensives. After that, we'll unpack the dependency this creates, reveal their ultimate data strategy, and finally, we'll conclude with the new geopolitical reality that they have forged.
So, let's begin by dissecting the engineering. You have to understand that the source of DJI's power isn't brilliant marketing. It is a ruthless, uncompromising discipline in engineering and manufacturing that begins at the most fundamental level of the product.
The core principle at play here is vertical integration, but I want you to think of it as more than just owning factories. A better analogy is commanding an entire aircraft carrier battle group. Every single asset, from the radar to the engines to the missiles themselves, is under a single unified command. This creates a completely closed-loop system with zero communication delays and perfectly optimized components that all work in seamless concert.
And these are the core components of that battle group. DJI controls the flight controller, that's the brain. They design the sensor and the gimbal, the eyes. They engineer their own proprietary transmission protocol, their OcuSync system. Those are the nerves. And they even build the motors, the wings. Now, by controlling this entire stack, they create a product with absolutely no weak links, no third-party dependencies, and an architecture that is just fundamentally superior.
And the result of this integration? A decisive, almost unbelievable advantage in operational tempo. DJI can conceive, design, and ship an entirely new product generation in a matter of months. A Western competitor, who has to source components from a dozen different vendors, takes years. This isn't just a speed advantage, it's a strategic weapon that compounds their lead with every single product cycle.
Now, for our second section, we're going to analyze how DJI leverages this engineering supremacy as a direct counteroffensive. Specifically, a counteroffensive against the regulatory blockades from bodies like the US Federal Communications Commission, the FCC.
So let's break down the technology here, because it's crucial. Computer vision, which is what most competitors use, is passive. It requires ambient light to interpret a 2D image, just like our eyes. LiDAR, or light detection and ranging, is an active sensor. It fires out pulses of laser light and measures their return time, building a precise 3D map of its environment. And it does this completely independent of any available light. So in smoke, in fog, in total darkness, LiDAR sees perfectly. Vision-based systems are simply blind.
This quote really captures the operational impact perfectly. By standardizing LiDAR on a consumer-grade drone, DJI essentially created an insurmountable performance gap for first responders who have to operate in compromised environments. They made a superior sensory capability a cheap, accessible commodity. And in doing so, they made their hardware absolutely essential.
But their next move was even more audacious. D2S, or direct-to-satellite communication, is basically DJI's checkmate against regulators. By building in the capability to communicate via non-terrestrial networks, they are creating a command and control link that operates completely outside the jurisdiction of national frequency regulators like the FCC. In effect, it renders their terrestrial authority irrelevant.
The end state is this: regulation-agnostic hardware, a device whose core functionality cannot be disabled by terrestrial radio frequency bands or by jamming. This represents a profound shift in the balance of power between a sovereign state and a technology corporation.
Which brings us to Section 3. This incredible technological superiority creates a severe paradox for Western governments. It forces a direct conflict between stated political goals and the very real operational needs of frontline personnel. DJI weaponizes price through a strategy you could call deflationary violence. By pricing a LiDAR-equipped drone at just over $2,000 against a Western equivalent at over $15,000, they are not just competing, they are systematically destroying the financial incentive for Western companies to even try to match their R&D.
And this has resulted in what we call technical debt. The West is now estimated to be 5 to 7 years behind DJI in key areas like anti-jamming transmission protocols. So forcing a first responder to switch from a DJI drone to a domestic alternative is asking them to personally absorb that technical debt, to accept inferior performance in what could be a life or death situation.
And this is exactly why that 88% adoption rate persists. It is not an act of political defiance. It is a pragmatic, field-level choice of survival over politics. When one tool gives you perfect vision inside a smoke-filled building and the other one doesn't, the choice is made for you.
This dependency on the hardware, however, is really only the means to an end. We're now going to uncover DJI's true endgame, a strategy where the drone itself becomes merely a data collection vehicle for something much, much bigger.
The fundamental shift in DJI's business model is from selling physical hardware to establishing what you might call data sovereignty. The real profit center is migrating away from the drone itself and toward the vast, unimaginable quantities of information that it collects.
And DJI Terra 2.0 is the engine of this strategy. It's a software ecosystem that ingests the terabytes of data captured by millions of DJI drones all over the world and transforms it into precise, high-fidelity 3D maps of our physical world, everything from critical infrastructure to agricultural fields.
The final product of all this is a digital twin of the planet. And this is the great strategic asset class of the 21st century, spatial intelligence. Owning the up-to-date, high-resolution digital replica of the world's critical infrastructure, that's akin to possessing a modern library of Alexandria, a single repository of the world's most vital physical data.
Finally, Section 5. We have to place this entire operation in its proper historical context. What we are witnessing is the rise of a new kind of global power, the techno-industrial sovereign.
You can only really understand the impact of DJI's founder, Frank Wang, when you put him alongside the industrial titans of history. Like Rockefeller with oil or Ford with the automobile, Wang didn't just build a successful company. He pioneered and has now come to completely dominate an entirely new industrial category: commercial spatial intelligence.
And the ultimate consequence is this: we have reached an Oppenheimer moment for commercial drones. A technology that has immense commercial and life-saving applications has, through its sheer superiority and proliferation, irrevocably democratized military-grade surveillance and mapping capabilities. The world, whether we realize it or not, has been permanently altered.
This brings us not to an answer, but to the single defining question of this new era. The DJI saga proves that technological velocity can outpace political control. So for nations and for corporations alike, the challenge is clear. Can you innovate faster than regulators can ban you?